Welcome back to another very special episode of Grim Reaper RC, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the top 10 reasons why I love my Sur-Ron Light BX. So let's get right into the video. Grab your RC, this is an RC channel, do some cleaning, do some wrenching, grab your Sur-Ron, enjoy, or if you're about to purchase one of these, grab it and add it to your cart because you're going to enjoy this video as well. So one of the first things that I absolutely love about my Sur-Ron Light BX is its size. It is a few inches shorter than a dirt bike. It's about, I'd say about 10 inches shorter than a dirt bike if you really want to get down to it with the fairing and everything like that, which makes it so much more maneuverable. You can keep it in so much more places, and you can probably even fit it in the back of your car. Even though it is smaller, dirt bike handles still do fit, and you can still get your favorite Pro Taper bars on here, which is my second favorite reason why I love this dirt bike. You can still get your rental handguards, which I highly recommend if you are taking it in wooded area where you have tree stumps and everything like that. Now, I do have my phone mount on here as a GPS as well, and another thing which is very important, which is number 3, is the light. The light source is a huge important thing that is on here. Now, the light isn't that great from factory, but it's better than having nothing in it. It's very cool to have on there. Number 4 is the height. I absolutely love the height of the seat. It's about 32 inches off of the ground, so it's perfect, especially for doing stunts and everything like that. This bike is so much easier to wheelie, and it still does have skinny tires, but it works perfectly for the off-road. I do have the extended fairing, so that was basically number 4. Number 5 is the extended fairing. This is one of my favorite features about the bike, and if you do have this, it just protects your back, keeps the seat nice and clean, and makes the bike look absolutely awesome. I love keeping my stuff looking perfect, even though I still do have a few scratches. You guys know that I do drive this thing pretty hard if you have seen my channel. Another great feature is that it does use a regular 420 roller X-Link chain, which is absolutely perfect because everybody usually has these, and you can get them in stock in very local places, which is perfect. Now, that is basically 5. Now we are rolling on into number 6, and number 6 is that you can fit a YZ or a KX125 front fender on here, and it looks absolutely perfect. It looks even better than stock, especially with the way it is shaped. It has kind of more of that car shape to it, which looks absolutely perfect. I love the way this thing looks. You guys know on my channel I'm a huge fan of the Sur-Rons. I think they're absolutely awesome. They're basically like a huge RC car that you can drive, which leads me into number 6 and basically 7 is the battery and the ESC, which is your electronic speed controller. This is basically like a RC car. You have the same exact systems and functions. You have your communications lines, and then you have your power line, which is basically an XT, I believe this is an XT90 plug, which is from RC Cars, which is absolutely perfect. Now, basically that was 6 and 7. Now, you do have to keep your battery on the inside. As you guys can see, it did snow, so I did have to keep this basically tucked away on the inside part of the house. I usually do keep this inside in the studio section, which is pretty cool. You guys have seen my channel as well. Now, also we have 8 and 9, which is the breaker and the little charger right here. So the breaker keeps it so that you don't blow your battery or you don't spark anything from the battery section. And then you also have a USB plug here. And actually, a few people don't like it, but I love the way that this is set up. I think that the rear shock is absolutely perfect. You guys can see I have dropped this thing a few times on its side, but it is still working. I love the belt drive system. I think it works absolutely perfectly together. And if you keep it stock and you don't upgrade anything, but you can do the 60-volt battery upgrade from Chai or whoever you'd like, EBMX. I think that if you do a stock power system on this thing, it will last forever. It works perfectly. I have over 2,600 miles on this thing, and it still works like an absolute dream. I have had to change out the chain once or twice, but other than that, this thing works perfectly. I love the Pro Taper bars on here. I think it works super well. What I do have to do is keep some zip ties holding the brakes overnight. That way it does firm up the braking system as well. Now, I do have the 2021 version, so my shocks are a little bit older, but I still do like them. I drive this thing through the sand and through some wooded trail sections, and it still works perfectly fine. Even though it is cold out, the battery doesn't degrade that much either. It still lasts in and around 2 hours depending on your riding style. If you go flat out in sport mode, you're probably going to last about 30 minutes to an hour. But if you're driving in eco and sport mode and going between the two, then it will probably last about 2 to 3 hours depending on your riding style. Now, the rear tire does go down pretty quickly. These are CST 19 inches, and they don't sell these tires at your local tire shop or your local dirt bike shop that are custom order unless they have Sur-On parts there. And if they have Sur-On parts there, then good for you, because not a lot of places do that. I haven't had any issues with my motor or ESC. Knock on wood, luckily. Haven't had any issues with it. I did have to change out my rear fender. Obviously, I do have the upgraded one here. I did add a mud guard just to keep the mud down because of how sandy and muddy and snowy this area that I am in right now is, because this is where we keep this model. I do have another version of a Sur-On, which we will reveal in a future video, which is in a much more sunny and warm location, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. So with that being said, we did have basically my top 10 favorite things about this bike. Number 10 is basically the bike itself. It's so light. Everything about it is absolutely perfect. I haven't had too many issues. Some people have said that they have twisted their frames and everything like that. I haven't had any issues with that, luckily, knock on wood. I have dropped this bike obviously on both sides multiple times, and it's still working. I go over trails, over jumps, everything like that, hit stumps, go over curbs. This thing is absolutely perfect. You can actually see how much of the tread is gone. This is my second tire that I've had. I have 2,600 miles on this thing, and it still works perfectly. Now, if you are getting one of these, another thing that we're going to have to talk about real quickly is battery storage. You do have to keep your batteries stored at a certain temperature. That way you don't destroy them, and you also have to keep them stored at a certain percentage. Now, I do use a cloth and clean this absolutely everywhere, basically once I am done driving it. That way it doesn't get too destroyed. I am in a salty area, so it does get a little bit of salt and rust on it. There's nothing I can really do about that. I do spray some WD-40 in certain locations to prevent the rust as much as possible, though. All right, so now that you guys know my favorite things about the Sur-On Light BX, I hope it helped you pick if you want to purchase one of these. There is the Ultra B also, which just came out in the 2025 year. They do have another version of it which looks absolutely awesome. It does have gold forks and everything like that, but if you want to save a little bit of money, I think this is still a good idea. And if you're in a certain area where police don't like having big dirt bikes on the street, you could take the fender off on this, take the rear fender off, put a 60 volt or 72 volt battery in it, and it would still look like it would still act like a real dirt bike but look like a bicycle, which is perfect for certain people. So I hope this helped you guys with your video today, in this video today. That is basically it for Grim Reaper RC. We are uploading every single day in the 2025 season, so please make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notification button. That way you guys get notified whenever I upload a really cool or informational video just like this one, or one where we go out and have some fun. It's super icy right now, as you guys can see, or I would be taking this out, and the thumbnail was with a sunny picture, so I hope you guys didn't get too clickbaited by that. So with that being said, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification button, and I will see you all in the very next episode of Grim Reaper RC.